Welcome to the City Current Show. I'm your host, Andrew Bartolotta. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making an impact in our community and around the globe. Today's guest is Baylee Less, the Director of Development for Memphis Jewish Home Rehab, also known as MJHR throughout this conversation, a renowned nonprofit organization that is dedicated to providing exceptional care for the aging population. Baylee is a native Memphian who's passionate about building a vibrant and equitable community in her hometown, and she brings a wealth of knowledge and insights on young professionals development, philanthropy, and innovation in nonprofit communications. Baylee, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Of course. Now start off by telling us about your role as the Director of Development for Memphis Jewish Home Rehab and the importance of philanthropy and supporting senior care organizations like yours.
Yeah, I would love to. So my role as Director of Development at Memphis Jewish Home and Rehab is first and foremost to definitely fundraise for the organization, but more broadly, just raise community awareness of our organization and of the senior care and senior living sector in Memphis. I am younger. I'm not a senior. I am 29, and really before I started this job, I was not aware of senior care and all of everything that it entails, all of how complex it can be for people, looking for care, and all the different levels. And so really, when I got this role, I was like, more people need to know about this. Our population is aging. It's, an issue that I think a lot of people are aware of as the baby boomers age, and people's needs are changing. And so really, it's a really interesting and meaningful time to work in senior care, and figure out how we're going to help people age in a way that's meaningful to them. It may not be a nursing home. Memphis Jewish Home is a skilled nursing facility, so we provide care to people who need 24/7, attention from nurses and CNAs. They may not be mobile. They may have memory care problems. And we also are a rehab facility. So we see a lot of patients coming to us from hospitals, either post-surgery or post-stroke, who need physical, occupational, or speech therapy to get back home. But there's a lot of other ways to live when you're a senior, assisted living, independent living. I won't get into all of those. But I just think that it's important for people who are not seniors, and maybe people who aren't caring for seniors, to also care for seniors. And it's hard because our society right now is really set up to isolate our seniors, which is something that we at Memphis Jewish Home and Rehab want to really spotlight, that we should care for our seniors. They've given so much to our community. They are still individuals with vibrant and exciting personalities. I could tell you a lot of jokes and stories that I hear day to day. And they deserve, a wonderful end of life. It's no less significant than any other part of our lives.
How do you see the role of young professionals in the senior care sector specifically? And why do you think it's important for them to be philanthropically minded? And what are some ways, maybe it's not working in the senior care sector, but it is volunteering in the senior care sector. What can young professionals learn from seniors and vice versa?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that question. I think that life can be fun at all stages. I think that we have a fear of getting older in our society. And I love my birthday. I love getting older. I don't know. I think I might be weird for that. But, I come to MJHR every day, and, I see the residents who live here full time. And they pull pranks on us. They joke with us. Recently, it was National Stress Awareness Month. And as we know, healthcare, especially the senior care sector, can be a very stressful environment. It can also be a very emotional environment. And so we knew that we wanted to do just something small for our staff and just remind them that we care for them, and that we like to have fun. And so we bought stress balls for everyone that had our logo on them, and then kind of were just silly and passed them out the whole day. Gave them to our residents too. A lot of our residents didn't even know what a stress ball was. And they're like, what are you giving me? And they were just really excited to learn something new. So, I think even though there is that generational gap and there can be a lot of differences between young professionals and seniors, just how much we can give each other, especially if you are going to volunteer. It can just be so fun, and it can just really remind you, what is great about life, and how to have fun in life. So our seniors really are so grateful when people come to visit them, come to spend time with them. Because some of them may not have as many visitors as really we all would probably like. But yeah, there's a lot of ways to get involved. Volunteering, working at one of our events. We do have a golf tournament, an annual golf tournament, if you would like to be involved with that. And really just educating yourself more on the senior care sector and kind of being an advocate for care for seniors, just in the city and as a voter as well.
Yeah, being an advocate for the senior citizens in our area is so important. Even if you are, not blessed to still have grandparents around, there's a neighbor most likely near you that is an elderly person. And just like being aware, I've been blessed to have so many great older people in my life, and many of them not even related to me. And just being able to check in on them from time to time, like that's super important, just for them to be aware of, trending things, being able to stay connected through social media, or how to set up their cable or TV or whatnot, because technology is changing at a rapid pace. And so being able to make them feel comfortable at that helps them live out a life where they don't feel like they're disconnected with society. So, MJHR is known as one of the top nursing homes in the state and the country. Talk about some of the innovative approaches or programs that you've implemented, and really nonprofit communications and storytelling to support its mission. We talked off camera about one of your recent LinkedIn posts. Talk about that, the importance of storytelling within development and utilizing nonprofit communications like Instagram Reels to really just like showcase the advocacy of senior care.
Yeah, I would love to. So yeah, I started a TikTok for MJHR, which I think people would think is wild. But I think just after a few months working here and just seeing all of the stories and what our residents and our staff can give to the community, I just felt that it was necessary. And so, but also, I want to make sure that people really understand our meaningful and some of our more challenging stories as well. So the TikToks are fun and energetic, and we'll show you one side of MJHR, but the LinkedIn post that you're referring to, Andrew, I recently delivered some gift boxes to all of our legacy donors. And our legacy donors are people who have committed to give a gift to our organization after they pass away. I think this is a really meaningful commitment. And so I just wanted to do something special for all of these donors. So I worked with our residents to craft a little gift box. It was around the Jewish holiday of Passover. And for Passover, we have a Seder, which is a large family gathering. And a Seder plate with different symbols related to the story of Passover. And so what I did, I worked with our residents to craft our Memphis Jewish Home Seder plate. And it was related, each item related to what the residents thought you needed to live a long and happy life. And so it was really fun because I got to work with the residents on this. Some of them even helped me stuff the gift boxes. And then I hand delivered them to all of our legacy donors. And one man really stood out. It was a sunny afternoon. I drove up to his house. I'd never met him before. And I go up and I knock on the door. You never know if people are going to be home. But I hear like classical music playing really loudly. And I'm like, oh, okay, someone's definitely home. So I knock on the door, no one answers at first. I knock again, and this really gentle old man greets me at the door. He's holding a little drink. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry I didn't hear you. Like I was having a wonderful afternoon. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry to bother you. I'm Baylee Less from Memphis Jewish Home, and I was just bringing you a little gift box. And he said, oh my God. And he was like, I haven't thought about Memphis Jewish Home in 3 years. And I found out that his wife had been a patient here for a long-term care patient for about 3 years, and that she had passed away during COVID in 2020. And so it was 2023. He was kind of surprised to be hearing from us. And he was asking about how we were doing and how the staff was doing. And he started naming a few different staff members. And when he named his wife's CNA, the certified nursing assistant, who was really with her day to day, he started crying. And he was just so overwhelmed with thinking back to the care that we provided for his wife, and just that he didn't have to worry about it when he wasn't there. He, really they got to spend time together that they weren't sure they were going to get because of our quality care. And he was just so grateful with the kindness that the CNA showed. And he asked about our director. And it was just so sweet. He kept apologizing for crying. And I just told him, like, please don't worry about it. It's, him sharing that story with me was more meaningful than anything else I had done that day. And so that's really the kind of impact that the senior care sector can have on people before, during, after their care, because some of our patients need a lot, and if they need a care facility and there's not one available, then their options are really limited. And so we're just really proud every day that when our beds are full, they're as full as they can be, and that we can care for as many Memphians as we can with quality and compassion. That's really what guides us. Just remembering that all these people are humans, and that the emotional experience is always there.
You do a tremendous job utilizing social media to storytell these great people and donors and community advocates for Memphis Jewish Home Rehab that have been beneficiaries of your services. And the uniqueness of what you all do is so great, and really changing lives and helping for those end of life to be able to fulfill their life and just feel very motivated and content with where they are and the work that you were doing. What makes Memphis a unique environment for young professionals who are interested in philanthropy or community engagement?
That's a wonderful question. I think that's probably one of the main reasons I live in Memphis, is because of our nonprofit and community engagement community. I went away for college. I moved home immediately. I've thought about moves at different times, and I keep coming back to the fact that I don't think I could have an impact in the way that I'm having in this community anywhere else. People are just so excited to get young professionals involved, really get people involved in general, but young professionals especially, and in such a meaningful way. I was asked to be on the board of directors for Music Export Memphis, I think when I was 26. I don't think that could have happened anywhere else. And I was just very honored. And I know you interviewed our executive director, Elizabeth Kawine, as well. And just that she saw the value in having a younger person on the board and leading the organization. And now I'm board chair at 29, which is also crazy. But I think that, there's so many young people here who want to give so much, and there's so many organizations that really want to receive that impact and that engagement. And I feel like Memphis is different in that way, that we really try to trust every voice at the table. It can depend on the organization, but definitely with, Memphis Jewish Home Rehab, like my boss and our board are so excited to have someone younger involved and excited and trying to change things. And same for Music Export Memphis. We all try to utilize the different generations and the different, mindsets. And that goes across a lot of different things. But I think Memphis is really unique in that way, in that when you serve on a board or you get involved with an organization here, I feel like the impact is tangible. And that's different than other bigger cities and other, organizations. So.
Well said. And being involved in a nonprofit really propels you as a young professional, and being able to get involved I was on the board, similar to your story. I was on the Volunteer Mid-South board at the time. And I was in my early 20s. Actually, I was so much in our early 20s. I remember one of our sort of like after meetings of a board meeting, they wanted to meet at a bar and I wasn't able to go because I wasn't old enough. And I remember like not knowing board governance and stuff, and them being like, oh gosh, here's this young whippersnapper. But that so much from their cross-generational mindsets, like you said, and being able to learn from that and bring a unique skill set to the nonprofit, which has been tremendous. And like you said, Memphis is so unique when it comes to being able to have a seat at the table. It's a really great place to be able to propel your young professionalism and career. Where can people go to learn more about you, Memphis Jewish Home and Rehab? And you did mention being on the board of Music Export Memphis, and we did you, Elizabeth K1. So go ahead and tell us where we can learn more about Music Export Memphis as well.
Yeah. So you can find Memphis Jewish Home and Rehab. You can find our website, memphisjewishhome.org. We are also on LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and that's it. So follow us on all of those channels. On the majority of channels, we're at Mem Jewish Home Rehab. You can find me on LinkedIn and Twitter. I would love to connect with anyone. And Music Export Memphis is also on all of the channels. You can find them at Music Export Mem. And both organizations are doing great work, and I'm just so honored and proud to represent both of them. So yeah, if you're interested in learning more, feel free to connect.
Well, Baylee, you're doing a tremendous job and really setting an example for so many young professionals in our city and region. Baylee, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It was an honor.